Are TikTok real estate agents ruining the housing market? I recently posted this picture on my community post and we had a laugh about it because clearly it is showing a real estate agent's terrible attempt to market themselves by giving an overly optimistic perspective of the housing market. Anybody who is aware of what's going on can safely say, hey, real estate is no longer a safe investment. It is now a more dangerous, perilous investment. And not only is it not a viable investment no more, but it is really difficult to get into a house, to actually be able to buy and safely afford it. So what I'm going to do today is I downloaded a fresh TikTok account. And for the past hour, I've just been going and liking first-time home buyer real estate TikTok, just like searching topics and themes that I feel people who are first-time home buyers might be looking up. I am letting it season, and now I'm going to basically hit the algorithm and just build my real estate mindset based off what the algorithm is telling me and based off what these real estate agents are telling me. Let's get to it. Okay, I pulled up TikTok. I'm going to start letting the algorithm serve me up. All right, so here's the first one.
This one's crazy. Let's take a look at the interest you would pay on this property in 2021 versus 2023 today. So if you were to put 20% down and finance the rest over 30 years, in 2021, you could have got 2.5% on your mortgage. That means in the first 5 years of holding that mortgage, you would pay just about $43,000 in interest. I mean, sure, that seems like a lot, but let's compare it to today, where mortgage rates are at 7.5%. So in the first 5 years of owning this property today, you would be paying over $130,000 just in interest. And on top of that, you would only have put $20,000 towards your principal. Personally, I don't think it should cost anybody this much to own a home. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I think something needs to be done about it. All right.
Okay. We got someone who seems to have the right message. I'm going to look at their profile now, and it looks like it's a lender. It looks like lenders are taking much more of a risk, being a little more risque on social media with like, hey, you shouldn't be buying a house right now. Looking kind of scrolling down here. Can you afford a home? Can you afford this home? It looks like he's just looking at...
How much do you need to make per year to comfortably afford this home? With 20% down at 7
Yeah, I mean, not bad. Okay, so basically my first perspective is interest rates are terrible right now and it's making things unaffordable. So far we're off to a good start. Okay, so I'm not looking for real.
Is it a good idea to buy a house today with these high interest rates and then refinance later? Well, let's take a look at a scenario here. So if you get a loan out for $400,000 today at 8%, your principal and interest payment is going to be about $2,900. Now, let's say in 3 years, the interest rates drop to 6% and you want to refinance. Well, here's a couple things to keep in mind. In those 3 years, you will have spent $95,000 on interest and only $11,000 towards principal. So that $400,000 loan 3 years later, you're still going to owe $389,000, but let's say you refinance that at 6%. That's going to bring your payment down to $2,400. So you are going to save about $500 a month, which is great. Over the next 27 years, that loan's going to cost you $786,000. Plus you have the $106,000 you've already spent in the first 3 years. And then when you refinanced, it was going to cost about $12,000 because of the closing costs and everything like that. So the total loan would be $904,000. Where if you would have kept the original loan today, it would have cost you $1,056,000, which was a savings of $152,000.
Freddie Smith, you had me going in the beginning, but man, let me kind of just check the profile real quick. Looks like it is a realtor. Now, of course, this is just off one video. I need to see more videos, but it's seeming like a lot of agents come across like, oh, frustrating. Like, oh, things are really crazy right now. And then they'll present this as a solution. Hey, you can refinance down the road and then it'll work itself out basically. Well, let me finish watching it first before I make a judgment.
So if you buy today and refinance and you hold the home, you will save money. However, if you buy a house today at these high interest rates and sell in 2-3 years, you're going to lose your ass. If you buy a house today, refinance in a couple years, and then sell a couple years later, you're going to lose your ass. So the refinance will work for you if you're going to hold the home for a long period of time. Is it a good idea to buy a house?
Okay, so yes and no. Once again, coming across as very like, oh man, this sucks, it's happening, boom, boom, yada, yada. But I think it's very dangerous to still tell people that you can just refinance later and you'll be fine. I like that he's saying if you sell, you're not gonna be able to sell in a few years and you're gonna have to hold long term. But still, we need to have the fear of God for right now if you're buying a house. And I'm telling everyone this right now, and it's unfortunately costing me business. But I'd rather scare them and tell them, if you're not comfortable with keeping the interest rate you're gonna have for the next 30 years and you cannot safely afford that payment, do not buy. Do not buy right now. This idea that you're gonna buy now and then like a year, 2 years from, or 6 months from now, you're going to be able to refinance. And then once you refinance, your monthly payment will go down, everything will be fine. In order for this to happen, you need to have equity. We need to have some equity there. No lender in the right mind will refinance the property for you if you don't have equity. Okay. Yeah, it could work. It could not work. You shouldn't go into it thinking, well, I'm just going to refinance down the road. And if that ends up happening, great. I hope it does, and I hope I'm completely wrong and you refinance a year from now and you're happy. But right now, the mindset should be worst case scenario. Because, quite frankly, this situation really sucks, and we need to be, kind of like defensive driving, right? Even though you're the best driver in the world, you have to assume everyone around you is completely dumb. And you have to just kind of be on the defense all the time, right? Or you can't trust that the person that's driving next to you or across the street from you is also capable of driving at a high level. We just have to be defensive with our home buying. And this guy seems like a cool guy. I mean, I'd have a beer with him, and seems like awesome. It's just that first part is really solid, but that second part is like, right? So the second perspective I'm taking from this is I can just buy a house now and refinance later, and it should work itself out. Let's continue.
Listen up, because I'm going to tell you something about the next 20 years that you should know.
Oh, gosh. We got the older man, the gray beard, the eyes have shown that he has gone through some things, even a scar under his eye. So I'm excited for this one.
The prices of everything are insane right now. And there are a lot of people that think that housing is a bubble that's going to burst and that houses are overpriced. And I've been hearing a lot of comments on my videos about how, just the prices of houses right now are insane. But let me tell you something. That isn't going to come down anytime soon. This isn't a bubble. And let me tell you why. Right now, we all know there's inflation. And I've been paying attention to a lot of metrics and a lot of data. The average age of building contractors used to be much younger. It used to be 28 to 34, I think, was the range of the average building contractor. And more young people have been getting out of the business. And right now, the average age of the average building contractor, I believe it is now 38 to 46 or something like that, right? So the contractors that are building homes are getting older and older, and the younger people are not coming into the business. That means that there are fewer people building homes. However you want to figure the math, our population is outpacing our construction of new homes. Now, on top of it, there's a couple other things that are, driving this supply and demand imbalance. You've got Airbnb. You look around at the corporate buy-up of all the homes. And right now, the corporations are buying up all the homes, which is why the bidding wars are happening. Why? Because they're going to turn them into rentals. Because if you haven't noticed, there's also a rental crisis. So we have a human housing crisis in this country right now that is only going to get worse over the next 10 to 15 years. There's going to be a huge imbalance, which means prices are going to skyrocket for homes. No matter what you think the prices are right now, no matter how insane you think the housing prices are right now, it is going to double or triple in the next 10 to 15 years.
There's a lot here. If you guys want to go check out the full TikTok, Inspector Preston, it looks like the name is of the person. Trying to see when he made this. This could be outdated. 7/28? Yeah, so that was a few months ago. So in summary, there isn't a bubble because there's not enough inventory being built to sustain the amount of life being brought into this world. There's something really missing with that, and that is there's also people dying. Life coming in, there's life going out. It's a valid point. By the way, if you're wondering what my opinion about the housing market is, because I think I mentioned it once in a while, I've stepped away from trying to do the guessing game. I know you guys love watching, especially if you get a nice little nerdy guy with glasses and wearing a suit. going on and showing you graphs about what's going on with the housing market. You guys love that stuff. You guys give them millions of views. Or a crazy guy saying the housing market is crashing. Everyone's been saying for the last 3 years. Like, you guys love that stuff. Go watch that. That's fine. I have done predicting what's going to happen. I have instead now focusing my time and energy into building up and empowering people in their personal finances and their home buying education. So whenever they are ready, regardless of what's going on with the market, they can go tackle it, right? So that's my perception. I also think it's really dumb to just think, hey, everything's great right now. That being said, I'm a good, I think, at least my opinion, looking at the BS that's being spouted everywhere to a fault. Even like I said, it's one of my biggest issues. I get myself in trouble a lot because I just say what I think, and I'm a real estate agent right now, and I should be telling you buy, everything be fine, just refinance it, but here I am. But anyways, here's my thoughts about it. Let's look at California. Let's look at specific cities like LA. There has been increase of population, more babies going in, people passing away, yes, and the housing inventory is extremely limited, and because of that, inventory is low and prices are extremely high and have continued to go higher. People stay there regardless of it, and that whatever bubble you think was happening in LA is just going and going, and it seems like it's increasing, right? But what's the main difference between LA and the rest of the country? For some reason, there's an allure to living in LA. People have a high demand to live there, near the ocean, the celebrity culture, who knows, whatever it is we want to do. There is a huge demand for people to live there. The demand to own a home is not as high as the demand to live in LA. And it's going to get to the point, and I personally think we're at the point now where whatever inventory is in the market is not going to sell because people cannot simply afford a monthly payment with the rates that they're currently at and the prices that are currently at. And people aren't going to go crazy. Like LA, people will continue to buy because they have to live there, right? There's a lot of money in LA. There's a lot of people living there that are extremely wealthy that are in a way kind of propping up things, right? That wealth doesn't spread fairly around the country. Yes, you're right. There's some valid points there, but if you look at the whole picture with what's going on in the country, it just doesn't seem like people are going to continue to buy because, it's because I want to own a home. No, there's certain parts of the country that are overinflated extremely. There's not that much demand to own a home in the specific cities, but the values have gone so high that everyday people can no longer afford it. So they're going to sit on the market for 2 to 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So either way, that's my thoughts on that. If we're back to what my opinion would be, I guess my opinion is we are not in a housing bubble. The houses are going to continue to rise because there's not enough inventory being built for the people being born. We're going to continue now.
This is a great time to buy a home because these prices aren't coming down. These values.
Okay, he just said it's a great time to buy as I came back into it. That's an opinion.
How much money do you need to make to afford a $300,000 home in 2023? Let's run the numbers. Let's do an FHA loan, 3.5% down, which will be $10,500. Principal plus interest at 7% is $1,926 per month. Taxes, $162. Insurance, $203. MID, $205. So our total monthly payment will be
how helpful is this to see if you can qualify for a $300,000 house when there's no houses for $300,000 right now?
This is for everybody waiting to buy a house.
I believe that when the real estate interest rates come down, when the mortgage rates come down, all hell's gonna. Oh, you're not supposed to say that.
I've been saying this for months.
Okay, every buyer on the sideline is going to jump into the market as long as the interest rates come down to 5 or 4%.
That's what everybody's waiting for.
And houses are going to go up in price all over again. I wouldn't be surprised if they go up by as much as 10 or 15%
Exactly.
when that happens.
If you're waiting to buy and you can afford to buy it today, you're going to wish that you made this purchase sooner rather than later.
Let's think about what was just said. If you don't buy now, you're going to regret buying later. How dare you? How dare you say that? Do you think people don't want to buy right now? I think most of you guys agree that desire to buy is there. But the areas where they want to live, you have to be like making 150 and 120K to live comfortably, or the monthly payment's like 3K or 4K, and they can qualify for it, but it just doesn't work for the affordability. I think, oh man. First of all, let me look at the profile, see if I'm dealing with a realtor or lender. Making home buying easy. You're not telling me what you are though, bruh. Always have to find out you a lender or realtor. Apply for a home below. Okay, so it's a lender. Okay. First of all, Barbara is a real estate agent, or she was a real estate agent, so she's deeply involved in the real estate world. It's a very optimistic prediction. And if I were to put it into my mindset's being made of is that because when rates drop down to 5 or 4%, there's going to be like a madhouse and people are going to go crazy over it. Okay. I'm firstly frustrated over the position of if you're going to regret it, like creating this sense of like desperation in people. Like if I don't get a house now, I'm going to regret it. Oh gosh, I got to go figure it out. That's pushing people to buy outside of their means. You're telling people buy now, you're going to regret it later. And it's basically the underlying message is it just doesn't matter if you're going to buy over your means right now. Like as long as you qualify, go buy, or else it's going to get crazier down the road. This idea that when rates drop and the market's going to magically fix itself, or there's going to be a bunch of new people buying right now, I think that's kind of crazy. The Fed has already announced that they're going to stay pretty consistent and stable with their high rates. I personally think there will be no interest rate or any actions done to reduce mortgage rates until they see a huge chunk of values lost. I know we have some dummies running the top, but I don't think they're that dumb that they're just going to reduce the rates like right now or like the next few months to like 5 or 4%. Can you imagine what that would do? You reduce rates to 4% right now, you're going to make houses even more inflated. And who is that going to benefit? Maybe the owners right now that are trying to sell are going to benefit from it, but who really will that benefit? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think if there are going to be any reductions or any actions that will eventually create the reduction of mortgage rates, it's not going to be until they see some relaxing, some deflation, right? Because let's all agree, housing prices are inflated right now. There's going to be some deflating happening in the next, 3 to 6 months. And that deflating is not, like I've said in my many other videos, it's not going to be just like a massive drop overnight. It's like price reductions happening from listings right now. Listings sit on the market an extra month or two. House listed for $450, $430, then $415, $390, then gets a hit, right? So it's going to be a gradual reduction. But I just don't think that they're going to just reduce the interest rates just magically, just with the prices being overinflated right now. It's a very optimistic approach. So right now, what I'm going to do, guys, is let's do a quick review, okay? This is what my mindset would be if I were to just go to TikTok and look into the TikTok realtors. Let's kind of just say how it is. Even use this with me. Any person who has a license to sell real estate or lend real estate, lender, they're a salesperson. Even me right now, I'm trying to build some level of trust. So down the road, when you're thinking about an agent referral or looking to buy a house in the Phoenix area or sell a house in the Phoenix area, you're thinking about me. It's always on. There's never a chance where it just gets turned off. And you might find some realtors and lenders out there that are like me and have an edge to them, where they're like, F. Like they turn their caps around and be cool. Guys, housing sucks right now, doesn't it? They're going to be out there. You have to have some level of skepticism. You have to understand that they're salespeople. And guys, I have 3 kids. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 6-month-old. I have a wife. I have dogs, a cat. I need to feed them. They need to survive, or else I am failing as a parent. And that means I have to sell some houses. And if I'm telling you that, me as the one, you guys love to put me on a pedestal because I'm different. No, guys, they're salespeople, right? Everyone is involved in real estate is a salespeople. The people that are giving you data are the salespeople, okay? And I'm not telling you this to scare you. Just don't only trust the guys that don't have a license, because at the end of the day, the people that have the license actually have the MLS data. Like you can go look at YouTube videos where people are pulling up Redfin articles and realtor articles, and they're getting data from Zillow and they're putting it into charts that they created to like influence your decision. Okay, that's going to be okay, I guess. But at the end of the day, the same people that are the ones that have to sell are the ones that have access to local market data, which is very valuable to make your own opinion. We have talked about on this channel about the 3 things you need for home ownership, to your foundations, your pillars, your budget, your savings, your local housing market knowledge. I am telling you this so you guys know the expectation. These TikTok realtors, they're selling. I don't blame them for selling. They're hustling. But the problem comes when we allow ourselves to be influenced by these kind of situations. Empower yourself first. Educate yourself first. Know that people out there, they have an underlying motive, right, to the things they're telling you. But you use that underlying motive for good. Go talk to an agent. Hey, bro, listen, I'm not going to buy in the next 6 months. Don't give me your spiel about all the rates if you buy. No, like I'm telling you, I need to get my savings here first. I need to get my budget down here first. And I'm not going to buy into the monthly payment for a house that I want is going to be at this number, right? You know all these numbers. You've done your research. And in my opinion, it's going to take about 6 to 9 months. And if you're not willing to do the long game with me, then let me know now. But I'm looking for a long-term relationship. I would love if you can provide me some local market data for these zip codes. I'm looking for the actives, the pendings, the solds. And I want to see if you can maybe meet with me or talk to me every month and kind of give me an updated numbers. Does that work for you, right? So you are coming into the relationship not being led, but leading, right? Because now we're in a new age. Real estate is no longer a no-brainer. When real estate has been a no-brainer for so long that the real estate agents were looked at heroes. You could be the dumbest freaking realtor out there and you can sell your cousin Edgar a house, and 4 years later, buy in 2012, 4 years later, 2016, he can sell it and make $670,000, $200,000. Your cousin Edgar thinks you're a god. No, we were in a crazy bullish housing market for the past 2010 to 2022, just straight up. And what do they say? Everyone's a genius in the bull market. Real estate agents are not we're going to go from short term, we're geniuses, gods, to long game, we're giving value. You're going to see real estate agents go from being a door opener, quick, like they make a lot of money, to long-term advisors. And you need to be comfortable leading. And this means accepting the truth. These ticky-tacky realtors are going to be, I love saying that, I don't know why, are going to be trying to influence you. Okay, let's move on. Go look at other stuff on TikTok. Go figure out your budget, research your local market, get working on yourself. And then when you are prepared, then you can go and say, okay, now let's see what's going on with the market. It's still really stupid. Okay, I'm going to take a month or two and kind of analyze things, take a step back. Oh, it seems like right now I can get a house with the monthly payment I want. Okay, well, I'm going to consider it then. And then you make your option. So anyways, different video. I hope it was helpful. If you guys come across any of these short form videos that are a little interesting, I would love if you can probably email me, contact@javiervidana.com. Send them over to me and I can maybe make more of these videos to kind of share my opinions, my thoughts on them. And I hope this video has helped. I implore you highly, if you don't know where to start, get started with your budget at least. Okay, go check out youneedabudget.com. Links in the description. If you use my code, you get 34 days for free or something like that. And of course, it helps the channel as well. Go get your budget started. Go get the ball rolling. Figure out what you need to do to start tracking your debts, putting your money to work for you, and just start kind of building that wealth slowly while the housing market's on fire. Get your crap together, right? So anyways, YouTube thinks that you'll like this video next, so go ahead and check that out. I'm looking forward to your guys' feedback and opinions in the comment section. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Boom. Boom.